Welcome back. In the previous episodes, we did a lot of rust repairs. We pulled one of the front cowls off, and this happened. The other front cowl is totally gone. It's put on with this sealant stuff. That's basically what holds it on. So the entire front was done with this. Great job. So let's do something else. Take this piece and cut it completely off. Clean off all the frame rails and the front cross member, all the way back to the strut towers, and see what we're dealing with. Okay, just for once, I would like to try and have a car where I can say that cleaned up nicely. But as you can see, it really didn't. There is some good metal here. The strut tower is not that, done. All the original spot welds are here. All this is good metal. This was just covered up really bad with a lot of body filler and Bondo. Like this indentation here was totally filled together with all this. All the way down here. They tried to make 2, 3, 4, 5 patches of repairs. They weren't... one spot weld. That's it. Or a plug weld, I guess it is. Other than that, it was just welded down here, hammered in, and just filled back up with body filler. So I think I will be cutting it as low as I can and cleaning it from the back side, see what I can do, and see how far in this goes. Hopefully it's not that bad in there. Wishful thinking, but let's have a look. As I said, a lot of places on this car that should have been rusty that isn't. And there's a lot of places that shouldn't be there. So, yep. Good times. Well, would you look at this Swiss cheese? Whenever I try to take something out, a rusted piece or just getting rid of all this body filler, yeah, here's an example of what's on there. See, it's just a thick layer of body filler. It just seems to be hiding more rust. So not really that confident right now. I have cut it all the way back to the frame rails, to the firewall. But as I take a look at it, well, it is a lot that's been cut out, but a lot of good metal still shows. Strut towers, tops, are actually pretty good. All the way down here, spot welds, everything. There's no rust in between, so that's nice. But the rest, oh boy. Well, while I was attempting to pull off the manifold to make some more room, I had a look under here. As you remember, I made the manifold easy to remove. Then I saw that there was no drain holes in the front frame rail. They have been patched up. So I just thought I will make just 2 holes for some air to circulate and keep them dry. So as I drilled the first hole, it seemed that somebody put, I think, blinker fluid or some stupid shit like that, or maybe it's just water. So I am guessing that the other side will be full of water as well. So what a lovely surprise. Look at this go. That's just mad. Okay, that was a lot of work removing the easy to remove manifold that wasn't so easy to remove. Dumbass. And also getting the brake master cylinder off the brake booster. This gives us a little room to work in, as I need a little room to cut and weld in new plate. As there was done some horrible repairs in sections of about 1 inch or 2, just patched on top of the old rust and then filled with body filler and Bondo. Yay! This will also give me room to work on something that I will be doing in some future episodes. Something to do with the power, something to do with this bad boy, which is the steering box on these old horse-drawn carriages. This is the closest thing that I've ever had in a Japanese car to get the feeling of driving an American vintage car. So this is just like sailing. You have to correct the steering wheel all the time because there is some slop in the whole system. So you could put, some people put AE86 subframe steering racks and stuff like that on it. I'm gonna do something completely different, but stay true to this old system because it is kind of what makes this car also, you know, what it is. It's all the old technology just before you got into the 80s and this whole revolution of, you know, car parts and everything from the old ways. So this is some of the stuff I want to keep, even though it makes the car drive really bad. It is still enjoyable, drivable, and it gives you a great feel. So let's try and see if we can get this steering box off. This will also give us a little bit more room to make the corrections, and this will give me some some time to pull all this stuff off afterwards and to see what needs to be done, as I will get into that in future episodes. Let's get this thing off. Well, as you can see, a lot of cutting was done. A lot of old rust was cut out. I need to do something about all this in front, but I'm just keeping this in place to making sure that it's not gonna move. But that being said, it is a lot of support cut out. This was by far the worst piece because this has not been dealt with. This is basically the backing of the frame rail. So as you can see, this is the frame rail top, this folded piece that runs here. This is some of the inner structure this is for engine cross member support. This is for the steering box, which is internally strengthened. So from here I need to build this. This is just the backing plate, as I said. I need to build this up to here, all the way across. Then I'm gonna spot weld it on, or plug weld it, as it's gonna be. That being done, I need to lengthen this piece. This is the strut tower, which is cut here. This is the normal cut for that. Also, the spot welds have been removed, so I need to make this actually has this small shape to it. I can just find the old piece. I can show you. Oh, it's right here. So this is basically how it's sat before. Getting there. Something like that. You get the idea. So that being cut off together with this piece will make the remaining strut tower. So that will also overlap on this piece that I'm gonna make first and also be spot welded. So that is gonna give it a lot of strength, and it is the way it was meant to be from the factory. So this is gonna be my first piece I'm gonna put in here. When that is in there, I am going to make the second piece with this piece, remember, combined with the rest. So this is gonna be one piece that goes over the top. And then we're gonna deal with the front when we get there. I just want to take a little time out to talk about what we're doing here. This is, well, it's not going to be some sort of resto mod. I'm not going to be using like tons of time to like fabricate these pieces to be like perfect. This is a case of a car that I want to drive and not have sit somewhere and just waiting for the prices to go up. So there are like two things you can do. You can either like make everything picture perfect, make everything the 100% correct OEM way. You're never going to get done. It's going to be too expensive and you're never going to drive it. Even after you're done, you're not going to use it. So for a car that you want to drive, even if a car that you want to sell, this is the absolute minimum required of metal fabrication to make this work. As you do the pieces, you make sure that you do these plug welds as intended, and then you weld it on to the car, to whatever piece that it needs to be welded on. Some people I see, they grind everything off. The plug welds, that's okay because they have penetration, but all this low heat stuff, you can't just grind everything off. If you do that, the weld is not going to hold. So leave as much as you feel comfortable with, because this is going to get covered up in some underbody spray anyway, so I don't really mind. Also, these patch pieces, this was just one piece before, remember? That was just put on here really, really bad. Wasn't plug welded, wasn't like set up like it's supposed to fit. This is now set up like this used to be from factory-ish. And this piece is also going to fit over like it was supposed to. So, as I say, as a bare minimum, do the plug welds to get the penetration and the heat into the metal to make it stick and to hold. This is also like safety-wise really not that smart not to do. And then like do the pieces. Piece it together like this. People, come on, man. And as I say, I could like really spend some time getting a quality job, resto mod stuff, but I'm not going to spend the hours because this is not going to be seen. This is just to get all the rust out from this. Remember, this is where the inner arch and the strut meets the cross members. So this is where water is going to seep in through this and down into this and make all this stuff rust. So now it's been changed. It's not rusty anymore. This piece needs to be welded back in, and then we just move on. So you could do this, the entire piece, like spend countless hours on it, but I'm just gonna leave this. This is the only part that is not rusted out, due to it not being able to hold water. Water will just run over here, whereabouts here it will run down between. So I leave this in to keep everything in place, also the front piece, so I know where everything needs to go. And then when I piece this stuff up and I go back to putting on the front, I think I'm going to be putting on the fenders and the hood, maybe front bumpers, lights, everything, with the two plates just partially tacked in to make sure everything just fits like it's supposed to, because I have a suspicion that at one time, as I said, this car was either rolled or crashed. This entire front corner was replaced, I think, and I think they didn't get it right 100%. So there, that's something I'm gonna show you in another video with the doors and the front fenders, how they line up and fit. But for now, I'm just gonna be getting this last thing here done, and then patching this thing up and having the front ready to receive the front pieces. Yeah, fun. No.